Hi guys, so I can start. Yeah, I'm not going to repeat like double, twice, triple time, but it's all good now. My name is Riazul Ehsan. I am urban ecology professor. I'm working with Alberto, and Alberto will be here with me shortly. We all really need to know what is urban ecology. This always been a question. Even it was a question for me. It's still a question for me too. But we will explore it all the time. So we all have known the big U, the big U in the screen. We all know the meaning of this big U. This is University of Utah, right? And that's what we are living here. That's what we are doing here. And that's what we are waiting for you to welcome here, right? But then if I add an extra U with the U, it will be UE. What does that mean? You could say it urban ecology, and indeed it is. When you add something new with the Utah, Utah becomes super smart. In what sense? It becoming super smart in education. Something exceptional and something experienced. Indeed, urban ecology is something that's not only learn something, you experience something, and it is something exceptional that you are doing everyday life. But we are doing everyday life, it is something different, and that's why we always add an extra E with a bigger Utah and become an urban ecology. So what we do really, there is always our question, oh, so what's the problem? What are you doing urban ecology? Yeah, that's the thing. We make places. We make a better place for you, for me, and for everybody. Even the tiny little green frog next to your home or your cat, we make the place for everybody. That's what the urban ecology we do. Let's see what they do really. So make a place. That's always been a question. Make a place. Like we build a house, we build a city, we build even car, fastest racing car, but make a place. What does that really mean? So we always have a confusion. Then what's the urban planners do? The urban planners do plan. They make a big plan, but they don't define like which is my place there. They make a plan for everyone, but why is me? Why is my cat be there? They don't say this one. And then the civil engineer, they construct things. The same thing. The urban planner puts something, civil engineer builds something, but why is me? And that's what we find in urban ecology. We experience ourselves, we build ourselves, where am I? So making a place, guys, this is what we make. We make something brilliant in South Korea. So if you look at the Changcheon state, the whole city is built by the heavy designer civil engineers, the teamwork, the civil engineers. The whole city is well planned by the big planners. But then, if you look only the buildings, there is nowhere you can sit. There is nowhere you can feel yourself. But then, the urban ecologists jump in, and they create something that you can claim ourselves, where you can sit and we can feel that it is you who are sitting. That's what urban ecology is. We make places. So you always have this question. Your mom will ask, urban ecology, what do you do it there? Why don't you be an engineer? Yeah, look, engineer is a big word. Indeed, it's a big word. Why don't you be an urban planner? There are jobs everywhere. Indeed, there are jobs. But then if you want to find yourself, it is something different. And that's why the history began in 1960s, urban ecology. When the people are all over the world, when the population start increasing in Korea, when the population start booming in US, and then they start thinking, making a place for everyone, making a place not for us or not for every species, those who live, we share together. And then we start. There's this thing like we start urban ecology there, but still we are not there. If you think, why do we live? We live something like that, don't we? Our living space something look like this, or something like this. This is Japan. Or something like this. This is San Paul. Or something like this. This is what? This is Daegu. This is the place we live. Can you imagine? Like everything is buildings. Everything is like concreted. Everything is squeezed. Like, where are you? So that's what we are thinking about. How can it make a better place for us? And when you make the cities, making better economy, better planning, better, at the end of the day, we come up something like that. And come up something like that. This is everyday scenario. These pictures, I took it from Seoul. It's everyday scenario. It's nothing, something from different planet. No, I don't care. This is from different planet. This is our planet. This is our city. And we come up this one. This is the last year picture when I first arrived in Korea. See, I love Seoul, but then you cannot see what is Seoul in there because the air pollution is too dark. And we ended up wearing masks. Wherever you go, now you don't know who you are. Even I don't know who you are because everybody is wearing masks. So we need a better place. And that's how we create that where we don't have to wear masks. Where we don't have to fight for our own space. That is urban ecology, learn and teach. That's what we are encouraging everyone to learn, to be yourself. Even how do we do it? We didn't leave our superheroes. Guys, do you know who is she? Mulan, the super lady from China. Now Mulan is wearing mask because we don't leave even Mulan alone. Because we are too many people. We create everything by ourselves. And this is Elsa. No place for Elsa to survive anymore. That's it, done. Thank you, Elsa. All the eyes are made. You have to go somewhere else. Even the mermaid. So that's what we live in our stories, our dream, our childhood stories. We create more and more urban areas. We create more people. Oh, no, we didn't create people. We create more space for people. And we change our life. And we ended up wearing masks. So how can we do it? Even the penguins, they are asking, help us. Yes, can you, I think you can hear the sound. Oh, you get it. This is the very famous movie, Happy Feet. All the times. I didn't know, guys, you have seen this movie. This movie is this the first part of the Happy Fate. When? Something like 2009, 2010. At that time, they first released this one. And I really like to share the story of this one. A little penguin, he fights for their own community so that they all can have fish. And they bring the message. And people will understand their message by dancing. And that's exactly what we did in Utah, in Asia campus. We have communication department. Those who know how to communicate your message. We have media and film arts. Those who know how to convert this little penguin by dancing, send us a message. And then the builders, the journalists, they all put the message to the national leaders. We have to ban fishing for these little penguins. And the overall message we give by the urban ecologists. Look, we have to save the world. So this is a whole package. That's why I like this video too much. This video is the package of University of Utah in South Korea. Whatever you want to be, we can be this one. But anyway, I am camping for urban ecology. Remember that. And now it's our time. It's time what we did, we can bring it back. And that's what we learn in urban ecology. We did this one. And we have the chance because we are the power. And you are the power, the young generations. They can bring it back what we do. And we can make a place for everybody, where everyone can have the equal right, a better place to live. And how to make a place? That's Professor Alberto can tell you that. He is cool in design. But would you mind?
Thank you, Professor Hassan, for this wonderful introduction about what urban ecology is. Hi guys, my name is Alberto Gonzalez. I'm here at the Urban Ecology program. And as Professor Hassan was saying, one thing is what is urban ecology. Another thing is what you, as an urban ecology student of Utah Asia campus, will be doing here, right? So we had a couple of wonderful images from Professor Hassan. And now I want to remind you what the components of urban ecology are, but actually what you as an urban ecology will be doing, right? So you will be looking at the different ecosystems that is affecting the urban environments. You will be looking at the biodiversity. You will be looking at the water issues. You'll be looking at green spaces. You'll be looking at different vegetation issues, and that's what putting together in the concept of urban environment, in the concept of urban ecology. So as a student here, you'll be monitoring, you will be checking and identifying issues, and then after you have identified those issues, you will be able to either design things or either go ahead and propose recommendations to those city management leaders, mayors and politicians and people who are actually making decisions beyond us. So this is just one single diagram that is encapsulating all this cycle of biodiversity and of ecology, right? But once you put that on an urban environment, you have to look at how the natural conditions are affecting the way we live as humans, as citizens, right? So one of the great things that you have as an urban ecology student is that you are able to work in different scales. So in this slide, you can see how can you go from the natural forest, big scale of the entire forest, to the urban garden, down to the urban park, or even to an urban square. So you can go from the very big size, spaces that we are all familiar, to the very tiny ones, which maybe you haven't thought in that detail before, but actually there are so many elements and so many actions that you can identify. Of course, we go back to the very basics, like, air, fresh water, sunlight, those kind of very basic stuff that at the end of the day are shaping our daily life, right? So let me show you a couple of examples. This is an example in which you're looking at an entire coastline, right? This is going across several regions. This is actually on the south part of China in the Great Bay Area in front of Hong Kong, Shenzhen. And in this urban ecology project, the designers were looking at how to improve that coastline in order to protect from the flooding issues, from the water issues, right? So as I say, you're looking at an entire area which is going across countries, trans-border, down to what the coastline could be and what the issues that are affecting this coastline can be improved and can be ameliorated, right? So this type of diagrams are identifying the issues. So you can see, how the water from the rain is actually, damaging those environments and is going down to the sea, but also at the same time, how you can protect from the sea level risings, and then how can you improve that, that space that is in between those two natural elements. So this is, one of the examples on which you can identify, what are the elements affecting that coastline and how you can improve them, and the biodiversity that is involved in that water feature, and the different atmospheres that you actually generate. So another thing that is important for me to point out as an urban ecology student you will be dealing with two kind of approaches. One approach is about analyzing. You analyze what is there. So therefore, for example, in this case, you're analyzing this coastline and what are different issues that are affecting the coastline, the shoreline. But in another cases, you are designing, you are improving the situation that somehow it's not entirely right or has been damaged for some natural disaster or human-made disaster. So again, these are examples of coastlines regenerations. So in urban ecology, we deal with, of course, water issues. We deal with environmental issues, and that multidisciplinarity is actually one of the richest components of the field. This is another example in which the urban ecology teams of designers are looking at the city and how that city is behaving, in different type of fields. So, by mapping out the different green areas, by looking at how the buildings are interacting in the spaces, you get a sense of urban environment as a system. And that's the whole point of urban ecology, understanding the city as a system, what we call the urban ecosystem. So in the city, we have people, right? And people tend to behave in different manners. So, there are activities that you like to do every day. You might like going out with your bicycle riding. You might like going out with your dog, or, you might just go out and play games with your friends on a park, right? So this example of the slides that you are seeing is how we analyze the way people behave, the way people are exercising, the way people are, having barbecues, riding bicycles, having picnic, and then we put that into a filter, which is our view. So that view is actually allowing you to identify and prioritize what are the important things of that particular urban environment, and how can you organize all these different behaviors, or how can you identify that some of these activities could actually be happening in different places that are not happening right now. So you can either improve or ameliorate, or you can even fix issues that are happening in an urban environment. So we work a lot with maps, we work a lot with diagrams. As you can see, those are simple diagrams, but as simple diagrams also give us, a nice sense and a very explanatory view of what the issues are. So you can see that we could be looking at a boulevard, we could be looking at an entire city block and trying to improve the inner space in between buildings. You can just analyze, ways traffic circulation flows, people circulation goes, supplies. So we, as I said, we have this interdisciplinary approach. Another time, like in the one that you were seeing here, we're just mapping out, we're doing an inventory. We're just saying or identifying what are the good things of a city. In this case, a city in the Netherlands. And these are mappings of high or medium or low quality green spaces. So you might have favorite parks, favorite squares, places that you like, and places that you don't like. Well, here we are not just saying we like this or we don't like that. We're actually giving you the parameters on how you can identify, how you can classify those spaces. Why a green space is a high quality green space, why a green space is a low quality green space. So you will learn how to map out those kind of things. You will get this criteria. You will think twice, every time you go back to your hometown or you go travel to visit a new city, and you will start looking differently. So one of the things that we are doing in urban ecology is to learn and to identify how to look things different in the city from the ecological perspective. So just a couple of more slides for you to see what urban ecology is. What urban ecology is also about thinking in layers. And we'll see what is that. Well, thinking in layers, different layers that can be from like historical component, like this one you can see here. We're dealing with historical maps, and you might think that, oh, what is the point of dealing with maps from 500 years ago? Well, ecological systems and ecological components are actually not changing much over time unless we are actually harming them. But the very basic components of an urban environment related to ecology are actually evolving, but are all rooted to the history, right? So you will be looking at historical maps, And based on that, you will be playing on how history has been evolving, how the ecology of that particular city has been evolving. And then, we play in different type of layers. So this is a layer showing you the green spaces of that particular city. And that green spaces, again, could be prioritized, could be classified in different type of levels. This is looking at the water features. So, rivers, waterways, canals. So again, different layer. Before we were looking, at the historical layers, then we have the green spaces layer, then we have the water layer, and also we have the traffic layer. Of course, we have places in which, systems in which people and cars and, transportation modes are operating, right? So we kind of like have that, lasagna, that Italian dish. So that dish is made of layers, right? Well, the same kind of thinking we have here. The more layers, the more tasty the lasagna is, as some famous architect is saying, Fernando Mendes. So that type of idea of thinking of layers and adding elements of knowledge will be, one of the things that you will learn here as an urban ecology student. But also, you might be looking at small scale interactions like this one here, that dike for protecting from, water level rises. Also, introducing renewable energies, introducing new modes of operating in the urban environment. So those are, elements that you will see and you will either analyze or design. Another component of urban ecology that I think is pretty interesting is that we don't always need to think of building new things, right? Sometimes we have old things and we can reinterpret those old things, and that is called regeneration. And in the case of urban ecology, we are also looking at regeneration of spaces, of infrastructures. The one image that you see on the right-hand side, if you are from Korea, if you are from Seoul, you might be familiar with it. This is Seoul Law in Seoul Station, and that was how to convert a former gray, ugly, dirty infrastructure just for cars into a green infrastructure for people, right? So these kind of operations are part of urban ecology. The one on the left is High Line in New York, which was a similar and actually older project based on a former railway, right? And that railway was converted into a park for people. So again, as Professor Asa was saying, we're trying to make better places for people, right? So by seeing these couple of options, couple of examples that I'm just pointing out here, you can get a sense on what, as urban ecology student, you will be dealing, what kind of projects you will be assessing, evaluating, proposing. It's all up to you. This is another example of ecoducts in the Netherlands, and those are like elements that connect spaces for the wildlife to pass over. So these are also elements that we see in our field, and elements that definitely change the quality of an urban environment. And this is again a similar approach of the Tumuntan stream in Seoul, but this is in Madrid. And it used to be a ring road just for cars, as you can see on the left-hand side. And in after a project of urban regeneration with urban ecology, architects, planners, landscape designers, all these multidisciplinary teams, it came to be a wonderful riverside park. So you can see how we can change places, we can improve places, we can help cities to increase their quality. Again, thinking on layers, you have the layer of the life, people moving around, people doing different actions, performing different behaviors on an urban environment. You have the space in which these people are moving around, in which these actions are being performed. And you have buildings, which is almost like, that background, that kind of, scenography that is behind all these actions. So think about that, multi-scale, multidisciplinary, and layer thinking. That's my message for today. I just wanted to add a couple of more images of real projects like Times Square in New York. Well, it used to be just a space for cars. And after intervention of, Gale Institute, famous architecture and landscape design firm from Copenhagen, it became to be, a place for people, a pedestrianized area in which people can enjoy, in which interactions can happen at different social levels. Economy can boost. Actually, businesses over there are increasing their, profits. So again, it's this idea of multidisciplinary approaches. It's this idea of making better places for people and understanding how the ecology of an urban environment works. That's something that I wanted to just say. We're also working with the Sustainable Development Goals agenda. So as you might know, if you heard of this before, those are goals in which the United Nations has been based their path towards sustainable development. And one of the goals is on sustainable cities and communities. That's one of the points that we will emphasize while you are here as an urban ecology student. That was it from my side. I mean, I hope you got a sense of different things and different cool projects and cool ideas that you will be seeing here as an urban ecology student. And without further ado, I hand it over back to Professor Assam.
Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I'm back again. You'll keep on seeing my face when you're here. All right. So something that I really need to say that we started very first time in UAC. Only one subject, that is urban ecology. We offer 4+1 program. That's not surprising. What is a 4+1 program? There is 4 years is undergraduate degree in urban ecology, and then another 1 year is in master's degree. So at the end of the 5 years, you are going to have dual degree, undergraduate degree and a postgraduate degree. Undergraduate degree in urban ecology, postgraduate degree in city and metropolitan planning, and that is from Salt Lake. Let's explain it, like how you can understand. So this is our common feature now, right now what we do. This is urban ecology for 4 years program. 3 years we stay here in Asia campus, and then 1 year we are go there in Salt Lake. So all together, end of the 4 years, we find a degree, Bachelor of Science in urban ecology, right? And we have 1 year's time in US to explore their culture, learn about their working practice, and learning ourselves much better. But then from this year, just from 2020, we already have 1 student enrolled for this program. We introduce 4+1 program. What is a 4+1 program? Bachelor of Science in Urban Ecology for 4 years, same as it is 3 years in here Utah, Asia campus, 1 year in Utah Salt Lake campus. And then extra 1 more year, that is Masters in City and Metropolitan Planning. So all together, and this last 2 years, you will be in US, you will be in Salt Lake. 1 year for urban ecology, 1 year for doing your post-graduation. And after the 5 years, you have 2 degrees. Bachelor of Science in Urban Ecology plus Masters in City and Metropolitan Planning. So not 1 degree, guys, 2 degrees, yes. It's a double degree, and you got a post-graduation. When many of your friends are still waiting, looking for job, writing their resume, within that period of time, you are giving a post-graduation. And what's the benefit of post-graduation? Yes, that's a good thing. If you are a postgraduate from US, you will get automatically 2 years visa to work in US. You get automatically 2 years visa. So think about this one. 1 year when you are doing your undergrad, and another 1 year when you are doing your master's degree in US. And after your master's, get another 2 years. Altogether, 4 years, you'll have the chance to work and learn from US environment, and learn from the US culture, and learn from improve yourself. And within that 4 years, I'm sure you guys are smart enough to find a better place anywhere in the world. And city and metropolitan planning is one of the leading subject from Utah. City and metro, one of the leading subject in US, and very popular in the world. You can work anywhere in the world. So this is only one subject in University of Utah Asia campus we offer this postgraduate program. Now, you might think, if you can do other things and then you get enrolled in postgraduate, getting a postgraduate enrollment in US is not that easy. You have to have a GRE, the English test, which is very competitive. I know I did it. And then you have to have at least English education for 12 years before, and you have to have a certain amount of GPA. Only then you can enroll in a graduate course in USA. It's not that easy. But if you are doing in urban ecology, because I was in the meeting, and because when you finish your urban ecology degree, and this is an US university, so you don't need to sit for your GRE. You'll be assumed to enroll automatically in a postgraduate program or 4+1 program. You don't need to sit for GRE. You don't, because you are already in an American university. So there is no English test, right? And only requirement is your minimum GPA should be 2.4. You don't need a higher GPA. If you go from other courses to US for graduation, post-graduation, you need at least 3.5 GPA. Otherwise, you need GRE. Otherwise, it's very simple in US. But with this one, only 2.4, and getting 2.4 GPA, I don't think it's hard. You just need to come in the class. You just need to come in the class and submit your assignment. And that's enough for getting 2.4. So these are the few benefits. Because urban ecology is not a very popular subject here. It's all over the world. And now you definitely ask yourself, and your mom is looking at it, where should I go? Where my student will find themselves at the end of having a graduation? And that's I bring some. Like anywhere in the world, I bring the map of this. Anywhere in the world, you can imagine yourself after having urban ecology and city and metropolitan degree. If you don't believe on it, I am the example. I born in one country, I raised up and brought up in Australia, and then I'm working here. And before coming here, I was working somewhere else. And same as Alberto. Alberto born from Professor Alberto born in another country, working here. So the world will be yours. It's not the Korea is yours. The whole world will be yours after doing this degree. Anywhere, and you can do any kind of jobs. That is government jobs, corporate jobs, whatever. You just don't need to be like an academics. You can be all the business. Think about all the green business people are talking. Every time we are advertising the green coffee, right? Who designed the green coffee? Urban ecologists. Because it's not the business people. The business people come with a color tie and say, it's a green coffee. Yeah, but from where? That's what we design in the background. All the green business that we design. So you can have the chances to work everywhere, even with the Prime Minister. So that is our goal. And that's how we create the world. That's how the urban ecology. And what else now you need to do? Just make a better place. You have to think yourself that, am I ready to make a better place? If you are welcome to be in urban ecology. If you still need time to think, you're welcome to think, and you're always welcome to discuss with our student leaders or in urban ecologies. You're always welcome to talk to me. You're always welcome to talk to Professor Alberto. We all are connected. The time is yours. The choice is yours. Of course, life is yours. You can only help you people. Thank you, dear. I think that's all from our side. And me and Professor Alberto is here. If you have any questions, anything, are you going to answer the questions now or later?
We have about 10 minutes for questions, I understand. So feel free to ask anything.
Anything you have in your mind.
Any doubt.
Anything about the degree program like 4+1. What is it and how can I be enrolled? Or what would be my career in future? Anything.
I believe we have active a chat, right? So you can just write down on the chat or.
I think they have it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can even write your question on the chat room, guys. And if you have no question, that is also good. That means me and Alberto did very good. Yeah. So 10 more minutes. And if you don't want to ask us, you can ask the student leaders. They are here already. You can put in your chat room. They can see you and they can answer you immediately. Anything else?
So what kind of job can you get after urban ecology major other than urban planners?
My question is, what is your interest to be yourself? Then I can answer it. You want to see yourself in a corporate world or a government world or international organization world?
Well, I'm thinking about the international organization, and that's why I want to get my master's degree. But other than that, because I'm kind of familiar with that field, but I'm not with other fields.
So if you think about yourself from an international organization that you're ending up, say for example, UN, so the first and foremost thing, as Professor Alberto says, that the sustainable development goals, sustainable cities and communities, that's one of the key focus of the UN now. And for creating that, they are working every part of the world, from Nairobi to all the way to Seoul, from all the way to Alaska, further down to the New Zealand. Everywhere they're doing this one. And that's one of the places that you can feature yourself. How a city could be more sustainable, how a community, because you have that knowledge, how you can use the environment in a better way to create the place for it. And that's one point. And then if you are thinking for the business, like corporate world, how can I be part of a corporate world? Every business in this modern world are looking to green business. Even you go to the coupon, type it, we have green products, right? If you go any online stores, so how a business could be green? Just painting green? No. Where they collect the product, how they process the product, how they sell the product, everything should be a sustainable approach. Then it's called a green business. And who can define which is a sustainable approach better than an urban ecology student? Definitely not a doctor or an engineer can define that one, right? So that's why they hired the urban ecology student. Now come to the construction department. They come a big construction because Seoul and Korea is very famous for the big construction. And every construction, before doing that one, they always do an environmental impact assessment. How much impact this construction will have in the local environment, in terms of pollution, in terms of construction art, so on and so forth. And there, they hire the experts, urban ecologists and planners, who look from the environment, but for this construction, how much impact it would be. If an urban ecologist or environmental impact specialist says this would have a severe impact on the nature, whatever project it is, $20 billion, $20 trillion, it will say no. So the first clearance should come from you. So simply you're in the construction. And if you're in academics, you are making more leaders for the futures. So wherever you think, you are in. That's the good part of urban ecology. You can fit anywhere. So one more minute, guys. Anybody has any other questions? Yeah.
Is there any city that you remember or you've seen that they have the most beautiful or great urban ecology thing in the world?
Yeah, you could see the city where I am from. I'm from Adelaide in South Australia. So Adelaide is one of the designed city. They keep the whole city center away from the people living. The whole city is covered by the parks, big parks that nobody can live in the city center. They can only go and work there, and they have to cross the city. So that, and if you look at the every year, almost every year, Adelaide is one of the top 10 cities in the world. That's where I'm from, and they design like that way. And another good thing is that when I was in Manchester, they designed on Old Trafford. It is a very crime zone area. Old Trafford is a very crime zone area, and they restructured how can we minimize the crime. They put more police here. There's a good solution than what the police can do, shooting each other. That doesn't make a healthy life. So then the urban ecologist and the planner, I was part of there. We changed the whole state with the lighting up and more plantation, more open space, so people can go all the time. They are running, jogging. So there is nobody alone there, because if you are walking alone, somebody is jogging in the front, somebody is running there, some families is there. So whoever has the intention to do some crime, oh, someone is watching me. So we changed the whole thing instead of putting more police, just creating a place for everybody. So there's the two cities, that's where I live and what I create. There's two real examples I can give you. And that's all, guys. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you so very much for joining me. Everybody, you understand? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope you guys can reach us out. Hopefully we will see you soon around here.
Yeah, and we'll be here to welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.